Dear listeners, just when you thought that it couldn't get any worse, it's about to get funnier. Sincerely, Tactless. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my sister to my son's naming ceremony? I, 36-year-old female, became a mother after years of believing it would never happen for me. Congratulations. In my 20s, my husband and I tried to become parents, and I suffered several miscarriages that led to an OB and fertility specialist telling us it would not happen for us. That's got to be sad too. It broke my heart. The worst part of it was my sister was extremely fertile and had many children in that time. Sometimes I would come back from having a miscarriage to have her saying she needed me to babysit her kids so she could do this or that. But she either didn't care or wanted to push her kids as healing my pain. There were times we would argue because I would avoid certain family celebrations immediately after my miscarriages, and she would tell me I was being unfair and selfish. I never wanted to cause my parents any pain, so I just endured it, much to my husband's frustration. So he and my sister hate each other over this. Wow. He once told her that she was evil to me, and as far as he was concerned, she wasn't worth the effort I put into my relationship with her. Wow. Strong words. She was outraged by that and accused him of also taking our miscarriages out on everyone else. I told her to leave him alone, that it was me she needed to say stuff to, but he knows how much it broke me to have motherhood taken from me. Well, I get that. And then we got a shock 5 months ago. I'd been having some weird symptoms, and my OB told me it was likely early menopause, since Black women are far more likely to go into early menopause. My husband didn't quite like what she was saying, so we found another OB when nothing else really happened. And that's where we learned I was already 5 months pregnant. It was not something we ever expected to happen for us, but we were overjoyed. My sister then decided it was time to call me/us selfish for having a baby when all his cousins would be much older and he would be the odd one out in the family. Like they were trying to do it on purpose. She also told me I was too old to think of the impact on my son. All kinds of stuff. My parents were angry at her because, as far as they knew, she had always been supportive. And then she turned when something good finally happened. My husband and I agreed to be done with her after that. My son was born almost 2 months ago. He is definitely going to be our only child after the delivery experience I had with him. My husband and I are not at all religious, but we both have religious families. So, as a compromise, was to have a small naming ceremony where we just basically throw a party, put his name on balloons and banners, and celebrate his arrival. That's kind of a cool idea. We decided not invite my sister. She did not like that, and neither did some of my other family members who say we as Black people do not discard family like others do. And she is claiming I am being unfair and that my son deserves to know his aunt and cousins. I feel bad to have this drama, but I don't want to deal with her anymore. Am I the a-hole? This is quite the story here. Quite a long one, but it sounds to me like the sister was totally fine with everything until something good happened to her sister. Right? I mean, I guess from the beginning even just was blaming her for her own miscarriages. I get it though. I mean, like the other story, if you do have a miscarriage, it's a huge deal. It is devastating, comes along with a lot of emotion. And if she wanted to take some days to process that, what the heck is wrong with that? And then when she finally does get pregnant, her sister tells her she's too old and all this other stuff. I don't think she's the a-hole. I think she's really just trying to protect herself and her family from somebody who's toxic. Because her
Mhm.
sister sounds like she just craps on whatever. It doesn't matter if something good or bad happens to you. If you get any attention whatsoever for it, she gets upset. You guys kind of see that too? It's almost like a jealousy thing, right?
Yeah, like she was doing okay. The other sister was doing fine with her kids, but I also thought it was interesting that her husband had an issue with her prior to this happening. What did
Yeah.
he see that maybe she didn't see in her sister that was frustrating him to that point? That made me kind of wonder about that too. Because women can be a little bit manipulative, and for a man to see that, they usually don't see it that clearly if it's subtle. So it
Yeah.
makes me wonder if maybe she was a little bit more not positive, not being helpful. Maybe her having her watch the kids was kind of shoving it in her face a little bit. I don't know. It just makes me wonder about that a little bit more. Because
Yeah.
when she gets pregnant, then all of a sudden it's this horrible thing, and her cousins are going to be so much older, or the little boy's cousins, I mean, are going to be older than him, and she's too old to have a child now, and her support's completely gone. So it's really sad.
It really is. And like, I think that it's, first of all, it's cool that her husband was standing up for her, to her
Mm-hmm.
own sister. Because, like you said, he must have seen something pretty nasty from her sister. But you see little glimpses of it throughout the story. Sounds like her sister feels entitled for someone to do something for her, to because make trying to make your sister feel bad that she wants a few days after she has a miscarriage. Like, it's not all about you. Like, some people need time to heal, you know even physically from a miscarriage, you need to heal. Like, it's not just something that they say happens to you. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and you probably should take a few days and recover, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of what I got from it, is that her sister seems pretty entitled, and she just, I guess, I don't know a better word for it. Jealousy just keeps popping up in my head.
Yeah.
She's jealous of her sister in one way or another if she gets any kind of attention or whatever. So I really don't blame her for, even if it's somebody in your family, sometimes you have to put some distance there to protect your family. Because if she's telling you this stuff, how's she gonna act towards your son? She's already, sounds like had quite a bit of friction with her husband and her, you know. Uh, you know, I don't necessarily think that it's a terrible thing. I wouldn't invite somebody to a naming ceremony either if they talk to me like that about my own kid, you know? Because what are they going to say during the naming ceremony? They're going to be over there whispering to the rest of your family, oh, she's pretty old to have a kid, and, this is terrible. And it's not like they planned it, they thought they couldn't have kids.
I say it's her kid. She wants to avoid drama. Do that. Nobody likes drama and those things anyway. It's not
Mm-mm.
about the drama, it's about the little boy. And everyone should celebrate him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
you're not going to celebrate him, don't come,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which I think is totally fine.
I
Yeah.
think that's the thing too. It's like this, yeah, like you said, it's the naming ceremony for this baby. The mom has the right to invite, disinvite whoever she wants, and it's stressful to plan this stuff. If the sister's having conflict with the husband and her, like, what would be the point, really? Be like,
Yeah.
she's gonna cause some kind of something. Maybe get a little too drunk and tell everybody, yeah, how I'm a geriatric mother and whatever.
Yeah.
Or I hear it's not even his, like spread some rumors
Oh
or
my
something
God.
ridiculous, come on.
The other thing is, like, wouldn't you think And this is the way that I would think. If I didn't get invited to something like that, I would think, why? I wouldn't directly come shooting at the person that didn't invite me. Maybe take a second and look at yourself and be like, yeah, I was kind of a jerk. Maybe that's why they didn't invite me. I feel like there's no introspection there. Like her sister obviously doesn't consider her own actions. How hurtful is that to say those kind of things to somebody in your own family and then expect them to still invite you to something? Like, get out of here.
I agree. I think that's the bottom line, isn't it? Like, look at your own behavior before you mouth off and tell somebody to suck an egg, before you
Yeah.
tell somebody else their kid is going to be so much younger than their cousins. I mean, just look at yourself first, And if you don't find something wrong, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we could all improve our behavior. We're not, none of us is a saint. None of us is a perfect angel, Even if you had the best of intentions, something could have been reworded, or you
Oh,
can
yeah.
apologize, or something. All right, yeah, the sister's a punk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people need to be so much more self-aware of this stuff. But I think that this venue for putting out questions and asking people who are not involved in the whole situation, don't have that emotional attachment to it, weigh in on it, is really helpful. And I think people get blinded by the context of what's going on, and they need somebody outside to say, hey, you're not a jerk. This is totally reasonable to do this or that, or say these things or whatever. And I think the more we do this and the more other people do it, maybe the people, grow emotionally and mature a little bit, and, stop being jerks to each other all the time,
Right? Here's hoping.
Yeah, right.
Celebrate each other and rejoice with each other when something goes well. Don't see how you can find fault in it, or how you wish it was you, or be competitive about it. Just be happy for them.
Right. And if you see them being happy and you're not happy for them, fake it until you make it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Honestly, you love your sister, just do it. You know what I mean? Be like, this is my nephew, my first nephew from this sister. I'm gonna buy him a Ferrari when he's 16. I don't, do something nice for him. Come on.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, because it's real easy to go to a place of selfishness. That's going to be most people's default. That's going to be an easy emotion to run to. It's going to be difficult sometimes to say, I'm happy for you, but fake it. You have to train yourself to think that way. You have to be in control of what goes on in your own mind, to the point where you squash those ugly thoughts towards people. I think that's really it. Left to our own devices, we don't get better.
Accurate.
It takes
Yeah.
hard work. You're not gonna go run a marathon after laying on the couch for 6 months. You're gonna be a pile of crap when you go out there to run the race. You have to condition yourself. I think that's something that's lost on a lot of people. They don't understand that there's emotional and mental conditioning that comes along with the rest of it. You got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm. They had a nice party without the drama. Yeah, it's funny. Guys don't really have arguments like this, do they? They're like,
That's the thing about men. They may duke it out physically or talk shit to each other, and then they move on. They're not like females that hold grudges and manipulate and try to ruin each other's lives for years. They generally don't do that.
You're too old to become a father, to be like, you the man. You're 75.
Guys can swim. Woo!
That's what guys say to each other, for sure.